Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watcher of Realms. Guys, today we're checking out Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn is going to be getting a buff very soon. This buff is actually very good, and I have a few ideas to showcase these abilities. But today I'm not taking her into Matrix 1. I think that's a really good place to test her. But I just kind of want to showcase the difference in these buffs. But anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright, so the first notable thing is the talent is going to stay the same, and the damage type is going to stay the same. The ultimate, however, is going to change a little bit. So I'm going to pull up the other game here. We have Icy Shell. I think the cost is the same. No, it's actually a little cheaper. But anyways, 1200 here on global with a 700 initial rage. Grants a shield, well, I can go to 1000, but grants a shield to one ally in range which can absorb damage equal to 60% of Gwendolyn's max HP. Each of the surrounding allies gains a shield of half the strength, lasting for 10 seconds. The shield strength will be affected by healing effect. The healing effect thing is going to stay the same. The difference here, and the huge difference here with Icy Shell, it's actually going to apply to all heroes by default. Grants all allies in range a shield equal to 70% of their max HP for 10 seconds. The shield strength scales with the healing effect attribute. Now notice it says their max HP. That means not hers. The shield is going to depend on their max HP. Now, it'll also scale with healing effect as well. How that scales with healing effect, I have no idea. I don't know how to test that properly, and I don't know how that math is going to be done, what kind of formula they're using. Now on the basic attack here, I'm going to bring this back up over here. It grants HP based shield to one ally in range. Shield strength scales with the healing effect attribute. I believe we're going to have about the same thing here going on. Onto Shield of Hope though. Shield of Hope, here we go. When the shields for allies are gone, the targets will restore 10% of their max HP. That's what it says here on the global version. And then on the non-global version, test server, when the shields for allies are gone, the targets will restore 10% of their max HP. Same. And gain a rage regen. This rage regen is going to be 2% rage per second. It's going to last for 1 second. So every single time a shield falls off that comes from Gwendolyn, it's going to give them a 2% rage boost. Now keep in mind, this is coded in there as a rage regen buff. So if you have Elowin on the field or Iris is already giving a rage regen buff, unless this one is higher than theirs is going to overrule this. So if you already have Elowin, it's just not going to work, okay? All right, so on to the next one. We have a Frigid Flurry. When the shields for allies are gone, it deals damage equal to 10% of Gwendolyn's max HP. So she's HP based damaged, which is not going to be a lot, to up to 10 enemies around the allies and inflicts freeze. So she's just putting on a freeze and doing a little bit of baby damage, okay? Now on the buffed version, Frigid Flurry, when the shields applied by the hero to allied units end, inflicts vulnerability to physical damage. It's going to be 10% vulnerability. This is like what Ares does in Abyss 1, so this is why it's going to be super, super useful. And freeze on up to 3 enemies around the target allies. That freeze is going to last for 1 second. I believe it goes up by 0.5 seconds from before, so the freeze is going to last a little bit longer on the buffed version. Now we also, over on the Awakenings here, we have some changes, all right? So let's pull that up on the global server. When Frigid Flurry, let me move myself over just a bit. When Frigid Flurry is triggered, deals damage to one more target. On the new buffed version, when Frigid Flurry is triggered, deals damage to 2 more targets and increases that physical vulnerability to 20%. So now we're really talking. Now we're cooking, right? That A1 Gwendolyn's cooking, right? She doesn't need anything else. I've already seen the Awakenings for the rest of them. This is going to be massive. On to the Awaken level 3. Allies around the main target of Icy Shell also gain a full shield on global, because they weren't getting a shield massively from her ultimate in general. But now, since they're already getting a shield here from the ultimate, when taking fatal damage, gains unyielding for 5 seconds. During this period, all allies in basic attack range restore 10% of their max HP per second. This effect can be triggered up to 1 time per battle. So it kind of puts us in this really weird, awkward position. Now she's gonna have unyielding if she takes fatal damage. How's that gonna play out? I don't know, it's pretty tough to say. There's gonna be weird situations where this might be useful. I'm not certain yet. I need to do a lot more testing, but for today, like I said, I'm just trying to showcase how well she's doing as keeping things alive. Awaken level 4, Awaken level 2 and 4 are the same, by the way. On to Awaken level 5, when Icy Shell is triggered, permanently increases max HP by 8%, stacking up to 3 times. This is going to go up to 10%, so an extra 30% instead. So huge difference there. You're gonna extra 30% boost in HP versus the 24, I believe it was. Yeah, 24% on the global. So Awaken 5, she's just gonna get some more HP. Can you stack her to an extent where she's actually able to tank? I don't even know if you can tank with her on Abyss. That'd be an interesting concept, wouldn't it? Anyways, let's take her into, well, actually I'll show her gear first because her healing effect is a little more useful here. So I've added 205 healing effect. We have rage regen right around 120%. Beyond 120%, rage regen, it kind of scales really badly. The same thing with healing effect, except for the fact that with Gwendolyn now, the fact that her ability to increase the strength of her shields, which was always before actually, having the added healing effect is actually extremely beneficial for Gwendolyn. Alright, so we're going HP bonus on the bangle, attack speed, rage regen, healing effect. We're going attack speed on the amulet, rage regen, healing effect, HP bonus, and some defense in there to help keep her alive. Then we have the healing effect here on the ring. I'm not a fan of these items. I don't typically use them. They can be useful, but generally they're not that great. Attack speed, HP bonus, and rage regen, and flat HP. Just to stack her HP a little bit higher, get some more attack speed and rage regen. On the left side, I'm going with Light's Grace. There's an extra healing effect of 30 and rage regen plus 10, so you can see how that works out. Attack speed, rage regen, healing effect, HP bonus, and we're looking for the same thing on the breastplate. Now, why Invigoration? Invigoration is going to give that healing effect plus 25, and when deployed, she's also going to be able to give that Invigoration buff to an allied unit. And most of the time, she's going to be able to add a 10% attack boost to a very important unit. So you can go with Wings of Grace with the same stats and get that 12% instead. But in this case, I think I will have on here for the test server to build this out this nicely is going to be Invigoration. On the artifact, I thought maybe the Elysian Epitaph would be a good option for her. She's actually not doing a lot of healing, but stacking the healing effect higher is going to make those shields a lot stronger. And I have something super interesting to show you today with that. Taya's Balm, she's not doing a lot of healing, but she could offer an attack speed boost to the allies in her range. You could get a little extra rage regen out of here if you're not at that 120% range or so. We also have the Taya's Balm, which is not really that good of an option because she's not really doing a lot of healing. Her healing is kind of subpar. She's kind of like a supplement healer and then mostly support. Massive big old shield. This is what we're looking for. There might be some random legendary pieces here that might help out, like this one here, the Nephrite Folio, which is going to give you a healing effect of plus 20. But typically, I think Elysian Epitaph is pretty affordable for most people. You pull them a lot. There's not a lot of good healer artifacts to work with that are not exclusives. Okay, so I think that covers exactly what the hero's buffs are. Now I kind of want to showcase this a little bit in Nightmare 4. And I did encounter maybe a weird kind of situation here. So I want to go ahead and put down a tank, actually. Not that one. I want to put down Baron. There we go. We're going to take Baron with. We're going to get those 4 stacks from Elysian Epitaph and then see just how big these shields are and how strong they are. We're going to try to tank the boss all the way down to the end without even really doing any damage to him. So here we go. We're going to go Baron down first. We're going to go ahead with Count Dracula. These guys are pointed backwards. And then I'm going to go ahead and put down Gwendolyn. And then I think we're going to go ahead and put down Yao Qian, I'm gonna switch her over to invigoration mode. There's a good reason for that. I don't want her adding extra protection to kind of scuff the run here. And then I'm gonna add Laurel as well. Actually, I'll put in Venoma, pointing down so she's not doing any damage. And also not putting up any buffs because I want to see something, and this is kind of an issue that we had before. I was actually putting, the shields are falling off and they're supposed to apply that vulnerability to the boss. Now the dragon should show the vulnerabilities. I was not getting that before. I'm kind of curious if that's going to happen now. It should be happening as these little shields here drop off of the hero. As you can see, Venoma is taking a ton of damage, but the big old shield just came in from Gwendolyn. And also, just keep in mind, Dracula is also draining them as well. So it's not just the boss damage that's getting them here. But put it 2x. You can see nobody's really doing any damage. Nothing's really happening here. So the shield should stay up. And we're going to just try to tank that. See what that looks like. It's actually pretty impressive here. Go ahead and activate it. Oh, what do you know? Couldn't even see that they did any damage to the shield. Shields didn't even move. So I want to put Element down here just for a moment, just to get their health up a little bit higher. Make sure that they're ready to go again, and then I'll pick her up and take her off the field, and then we'll get ready here. She should be able to hold them off, and we're gonna go for that next shield. It's a very, very powerful shield. I think honestly in Abyss 1, when that meteoric strike comes down, I think she could stop a unit from dying pretty easily. Everybody. All right, let's go ahead and activate, get the big shield up. Can't even see it move. It's amazing, honestly. I think that Gwendolin's buff is incredible. But now, you notice that these shields are falling off. And up here, I'm not getting that vulnerability buff that's supposed to be going out. Now, she can't freeze stuff. Or maybe she has to be able to freeze in order to get that vulnerability. That's a good possibility that that's the way it's intended to work, but it doesn't seem to be worded that way. So that's something I'm gonna have to confirm with the devs. I do actually see the freezes go up when I take on the boss in Gear Raid 118, and I'll show you that in just a moment. One more, this is the big shield, the big hitter. Can't even see it happen. You just can't even see the damage. You can't. These guys they did 0 blood, and in Nightmare 4, and we're still standing here, and the only real support here is Gwendolyn. That's impressive. I don't think that she could do that before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the shields were big enough for her to be able to handle that. I don't know for sure, but because I actually never used her on Global. She's just been so bad all this time that I've not really been that interested. The only thing that would really put her over the top is like AoE damage reduction plus 10% or something, and it'd be like, wow, here we go. But anyways, yeah, so let's go into Gear Raid 118, and I want to try to get to that boss and survive with a Baron or something along those lines, and kind of show you how that vulnerability debuff actually does go up. It's weird though. I feel like it should go up on the bosses. If it doesn't go up on the bosses, this kind of sucks. If it does, however, and it's intended to, and it's just not working right, then we're talking. We have something that we can work with. We have a new type of team that we could build up. Let's go ahead with this. I'll use Valara to keep it clear until the boss comes down. Just to hold the wall off. That's all we're really looking for. Alright, so here we go. Let's put down Valara. We'll put down Gwendolyn here. Alright. Go ahead and activate, because why not? Just clear them out. Valara, A5. It's too much. It's too much. Too much for almost anything in this game. Yeah. I don't really have much more to say to that. I'm gonna go ahead and clip forward until we get to the boss, and then I'll get back to you in just a moment. Alright, so here we are. I'm gonna put down Baron, apply that shield, and you're gonna see boss is stuck on Baron, and when the shields fall off, he should show the vulnerability up here. Here it is. Physical damage taken plus 10%. Every time that freeze hit, it's pretty consistent. He can't be frozen. That's an elite. He's immune to crowd control. But I think the flash of freeze coming out may be required to get that to trigger. I am going to talk to the devs, and I'll let you know. I'll pin it up in the comment section down below to know if that's going to be able to be applied to the standard guild boss and Abyss 1 and whatever. I know it's going to work on Matrix, but I would like to see it work on things like APOC 1, APOC 2, or Semra, Service, and Belial, or whatever the heck his name is, Forrest, and make sure that it's working on all of these guys. But you can see as soon as every single shield pops off, the boss does indeed take that damage, that vulnerability debuff. And then you can see for now, some reason right now, it's not actually popping up there as well, which is weird. The shields should continue to keep popping up. There you go. There's a freeze, which maybe was just holding on forever for some reason. But yeah, there you go. This is a physical damage taken plus 10%. So I would assume that this is going to work like it's supposed to. And like we would assume it would work from reading the skill. It says on the skill that physical damage vulnerability is going to go on to surrounding enemies up to 3, I believe, and be frozen as well. So we will check that out. But anyways, if you go to the stats here, I want to notice something here. Gwendolyn did 96k heal, and back on guild boss, when I put the L1 out there just for a moment, she's gonna like quadruple the amount of healing that L1's doing. Gwendolyn's doing. Gwendolyn is not doing a lot of heals. She's just doing big old shields, and they are impressive. So if she's paired with a good healer like Alien and Abyss, you're gonna see some pretty impressive numbers happening from that. You're gonna feel like your team is invincible, if you were to ask me. So you just pop that shield at the right time and everybody's gonna be just fine. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any ideas for team comps or anything where you'd like to see Gwendolyn tested and you want to see it happen where the buff comes out, happy to do it. If you have it all set up, you have the idea for me, I take that into consideration, and I will make a video if it sounds good and it works out well. You can just go ahead and leave that down in the comment section down below, or join us on Discord. We have Discord links right down in the description below this video. Anyways, guys, I appreciate all the support. I've been the Prospector. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep digging.